In the dark and silent void of space, a threat moves that even the Imperium fears to name. They arrive without warning, strike without hesitation, and leave behind nothing but shattered armor and silenced oaths. Entire Space Marine chapters have vanished under their advance, not because they were traitors, but because someone in the High Lords decided they needed to disappear. These are not ordinary Astartes. These are the Emperor's secret attack dogs. The Minotaurs. And the darkest truth is this: no one knows where they came from, who controls them, or why they obey orders that most loyal chapters would refuse. But one thing is certain: when the Minotaurs are unleashed, someone in the Imperium is about to be erased. For centuries, the Minotaurs chapter has stood apart from every other Space Marine brotherhood. They are loyal, yes, but not to the ideals of the Emperor, not to the suffering Imperium, and certainly not to their fellow Astartes. Their loyalty is a weapon pointed only in one direction: the High Lords of Terra. Their history is a void, their gene seed a forbidden question, and their purpose shrouded behind sealed imperial edicts. They do not fight for glory or honor, they fight to enforce obedience. When a chapter grows too independent, when a planetary governor refuses orders, or when political power shifts dangerously, the Minotaurs appear like a storm. They strike brutally, efficiently, without pause, tearing down resistance with a kind of savage discipline that feels almost unnatural. And as the Imperium continues to crumble under endless enemies, one terrifying mystery grows louder: why were the Minotaurs created, and what truth hides behind their unstoppable loyalty? The origins of the Minotaurs chapter are shrouded in almost complete secrecy. Unlike other Space Marine chapters, which boast proud histories, heralded founding events, or known gene seed lineages, the Minotaurs appear fully formed, fully armed, and fully lethal, as if they emerged from the shadows of the Imperium itself. Many scholars and imperial historians have speculated that they may not have been created through standard chapter founding methods at all. There are whispers that their gene seed has been tampered with, altered in ways that even the Adeptus Mechanicus refuses to document publicly. Some theorists suggest that the Minotaurs may be the product of a lost or forbidden pre-March project, possibly linked to the rage-fueled lineage of Angron, though no evidence has been confirmed. Their deployment patterns add to the mystery. They appear only where secrecy is paramount, only where the Imperium's most sensitive operations demand absolute obedience. Even other Space Marine chapters report a strange absence of familial ties. The Minotaurs do not interact with anyone outside their own ranks, and their genetic legacy is a closed book. This isolation and secrecy fuel the dark whispers of the Imperium. They are not just warriors, they are a weapon, created to serve without question or conscience. The Minotaurs chapter is unique in its unwavering devotion to the High Lords of Terra, executing their orders without hesitation or moral debate. While other chapters may argue, negotiate, or even refuse commands that conflict with their principles, the Minotaurs follow imperial decrees to the letter, no matter how brutal or politically sensitive. This has earned them a fearful reputation among loyalist forces and loyal imperial governors alike. They are not merely a combat force, they are enforcers, operatives of the Imperium's deepest, darkest secrets. During the infamous Badab War, for instance, the Minotaurs were deployed against renegade Space Marine chapters not with the intent of victory alone, but to obliterate opposition entirely, leaving no survivors and no trace of defiance. Their strategic deployment suggests they are used to enforce compliance, suppress uprisings, and execute missions that others dare not attempt. Unlike typical chapters who fight for honor, glory, or the Emperor's vision, the Minotaurs operate purely as a tool of control. Their presence alone instills fear, as both allies and enemies understand that no negotiations, no appeals, and no oaths of loyalty will sway them from their task. In essence, the Minotaurs are the Emperor's hidden hand, a weapon not wielded on the battlefield but as an instrument of ultimate obedience. Combat is not merely a skill for the Minotaurs, it is an art, honed to a savage perfection. Unlike other Space Marine chapters that favor tactics, precision, or strategic retreats, the Minotaurs adopt a doctrine of overwhelming force and unrelenting aggression. Their preferred engagement style is close-quarters combat, often deploying boarding actions and direct assaults that shatter enemy lines within minutes. Heavy weapons, shields, and siege engines are used not to support, but to lead the charge. Their soldiers are trained to push forward relentlessly, regardless of casualties or terrain, turning every battlefield into a slaughterhouse that favors their unstoppable momentum. Unlike other chapters that may adapt to the battlefield, the Minotaurs impose their will upon it. Enemy forces often describe them as an unstoppable storm, hitting with the weight of the Emperor's wrath. Their tactics are terrifyingly efficient, no hesitation, no mercy, and no retreat. They do not just win, they erase. Witness accounts from survivors are rare, but those who return speak of Minotaurs striking with surgical precision, eliminating command structures, and leaving no room for resistance. This brutal combat doctrine is not born from mere loyalty or courage, it is a manifestation of their purpose. The Minotaurs exist to enforce, destroy, and remind the galaxy that disobedience carries a lethal price. Among scholars and theorists, one of the most persistent and chilling questions surrounds the Minotaurs' origins. Are they connected to a hidden pre-March project? Some suggest that their unparalleled ferocity and battlefield resilience could be derived from Angren's gene seed, infused with enhancements unknown to even the Mechanicus. Angren's rage-fueled lineage would explain the Minotaurs' relentless aggression and near-mindless ferocity in combat. Others argue that the chapter may be linked to a lost or secretive Primarch named Asterian Moloch, a figure whose existence is barely acknowledged in imperial records. Moloch's rare and sudden appearances in history mirror the Minotaurs' mysterious deployments, further fueling speculation. Could the Minotaurs be the living remnants of a Primarch experiment, engineered to be the perfect enforcers of the High Lord's will? Their genetic makeup remains a tightly guarded secret, but clues in combat style, equipment, and behavior hint at a lineage unlike any other. If true, it would explain why they operate without question, without hesitation, and with a loyalty that seems almost inhuman. Theories abound, but one fact remains indisputable: the Minotaurs are not ordinary space marines. They may be the culmination of a dangerous experiment, one intended to create warriors whose only purpose is obedience and annihilation. The Minotaurs are not merely a chapter, they are the Emperor's secret weapon, kept hidden from the wider Imperium. Unlike other Space Marine chapters, whose victories and losses are chronicled in tomes and legends, the Minotaurs' campaigns are rarely documented and almost never praised publicly. They operate in shadowed theaters, deployed to crush dissent, eliminate political threats, and enforce the High Lord's will without question. Their supply chains are protected at the highest levels of Terra, their reinforcements arrive mysteriously, and their losses are quickly replenished. Such logistical perfection is unheard of for a normal chapter, suggesting direct oversight from the highest echelons of the Imperium. In essence, they function as living instruments of control, capable of executing missions too sensitive or morally ambiguous for other chapters. When a planetary governor defies orders or a chapter resists imperial authority, the Minotaurs arrive like a hammer descending from the sky. Their existence is a chilling reminder to all that loyalty to the Imperium is mandatory, and that some warriors exist solely to enforce it. The Minotaurs' reputation is therefore both feared and revered, not for their honor, but for the terrifying efficiency with which they execute the Emperor's secretive and often ruthless will. Ultimately, the Minotaurs chapter represents a frightening paradox. They are both heroes and monsters, loyal yet alien, feared yet indispensable. While other chapters fight for ideals, glory, or the Emperor's vision, the Minotaurs fight to uphold power structures, to enforce obedience, and to eliminate resistance without hesitation. Their unquestioning loyalty makes them invaluable to the High Lords, yet it also makes them terrifying. They are not bound by morality, ethics, or conscience, only by orders. When deployed, the Minotaurs do not merely engage enemies, they erase them, leaving no survivors, no evidence, and no mercy. In a galaxy filled with rebellion, heresy, and chaos, the Minotaurs serve as a grim reminder that the Imperium is willing to wield fear itself as a weapon. Some whisper that they are not merely warriors, but the Emperor's ultimate tool, a mechanism of control designed to keep even loyal Space Marines in line. The terrifying truth of the Minotaurs is this: in the darkness of the galaxy, there exists a force that answers to no one but the highest power, a chapter whose only purpose is to ensure that the Imperium remains unchallenged, at any cost, and with absolute, terrifying efficiency. As the dust of countless battles settles across the Imperium, one truth becomes impossible to ignore: the Minotaurs chapter is unlike any other. They are not champions of glory, nor are they servants of mercy. They are the Emperor's secret enforcers, a living weapon designed to execute the will of the High Lords without question, hesitation, or conscience. Every strike, every battlefield, every silenced enemy serves a purpose that most of the galaxy will never fully understand. Their loyalty is absolute, their ferocity unmatched, and their existence a reminder that power in the Imperium often comes with a dark price. The Minotaurs do not ask why, they only act, and in their wake, they leave fear, obedience, and a chilling silence. In a universe defined by rebellion, heresy, and endless war, they are the ultimate tool, a chapter whose allegiance is not to ideals, but to control itself. And so, the question lingers in every corner of the Imperium: are the Minotaurs heroes maintaining order, or are they monsters wielded to enforce it? One thing is certain: wherever they appear, nothing is left standing, and no one dares to stand against them.